Welcome to another lesson from the Inspired Teacher. Today on the Taiji Classics. I'm going to share one with you that I've had a few questions about and seems to be some kind of confusion on it, and I can see where it would be confusing. And it's the classic that basically says if one part's moving, all parts should be moving. If one part is stopped, all parts should stop. You're going to find a variation on that classic in Song of Pushing Hands. You know, it says upper and lower parts have to coordinate with each other, and then, you know, the opponent can't advance on you. Or Yang Cheng Fu in the 10 Guiding Principles also says upper and lower parts have to coordinate. And my teacher, Grandmaster Weiland Choi, he just paraphrased it. He'd always say, start together, stop together. So one of the confusing parts is you can see examples of people who are acknowledged as masters. On the internet you can see them doing forms and such. And you'll see it many times, like one part's moving, but not all parts are moving. Or one part has stopped, and not all parts have stopped. And I'm not picking on anybody, and I'm not saying they're wrong or anything. I'm just saying, that, as if we look at just that piece, it can be quite confusing, and we can wonder, am I not understanding it? Are they not understanding it? Or what's what's going on there? So you'll see, for example, a lot of people doing the beginning posture. You'll see beginning posture, arms are moving. That's one part moving, but not all parts are moving. There's no stepping, there's no turning or whatever. Another one, really, really simple, single whip. You'll see the arm will stop, the whip arm will stop, but now there's still motion. This is one part is stopped. How come all parts haven't stopped? There's so many examples. Another one is, you see it everywhere, is taking a step. So you'll see a lot of time, I take my step, just the leg is stepping. Or I've stopped moving the arms once I'm holding the ball. Here's one part stopped, but now the other parts haven't stopped. So to make it really simple and clear, that classic is referring to the part of the posture where you would be doing something to somebody else. This is a really good reason why you should have a basic understanding of the application of each movement. You can't learn how to fight from learning the applications, and I know the applications are archaic and old-fashioned. I understand all that. What I'm saying is you should have an idea what part of the posture is putting the power out. Because in Taiji, power comes from the whole body. And that's when they're saying, when one part's moving, they all got to be moving together. It's the 9-joint harmony. It's the whole body as one unit for issuing energy. So what you're going to see is in your postures, there's a part. It's in transition, or it's the setup. It's getting ready. There are places where you get ready to then start together, stop together. So grasping the sparrow's tail. It doesn't matter that the ball is stopped moving. I'm still keeping on moving. And it doesn't matter that the foot is stepping, but this whole part has stopped. What matters is right here. This is the place where I'm going to put the power out. I'm going to do the full part of the application. This is where you want to have everything start moving together and everything stop at that time. So the discrepancy in the beginning has nothing to do with that it's not following the classic. That follows the classic. If you think about that, it's really talking about not the posture as a whole, but what I like to call the power stroke, the place where you're doing something to somebody, kicking, punching, pushing, sweeping, throwing, locking, whatever. It's when you're going to do something to another person in a martial arts setting. For Taiji, has to be whole body power. And that's when you want it all to come together and then all to stop together. It's kind of like music. You know, there are places where not the whole band is playing. Some parts of the band are playing, some parts are not. But then when it comes to the place where everybody in the song has to be playing, then everybody is playing, all the music's coming out, all the power's coming out, and then it stops at the same time. So you'll see that in many places. For instance, as I mentioned, single whip. Single whip can have anywhere from 2 to 4 applications within the posture itself. So when the hook's going out, this is everything start together, stop together. Now that piece is done. That application was done. Now I'm going to do the trip or the throw. And then you're going to do everything start together and stop together. It doesn't mean that when the hook stopped, everything had to stop. And it didn't mean that like all the applications at the end or wherever, it's in different places for different postures. So again, if you just have a real basic idea of where the attack or the issuing energy is in any of your postures, then you can check that. Starting together, whole body moves, and together, whole body stops. When I first was learning from Master Choi, when you begin learning his style, Liho Bafa or Lukap Batfat, you begin with the dragon. And so, you know, we would start in the cat stance and the hands in place, and then he would have us move the foot forward and over, and then we would begin and do the basic lunge, push, back, and sit. And he would always talk about, you know, check and make sure that when it starts, everything is moving at the same time, and when it stops, everything stops at the same time. Well, one time I'm here, and he goes, okay, forward and over, and we did the dragon. And he said, any questions? And I said, hey, Sifu, does that break the rule that, you know, the leg just getting into place, it didn't start, everything didn't start together, and it sure didn't stop together. And that's when he said, no, only on the places you're doing the application. So for instance, the application isn't happening right now. Once the foot's out, the prep, the setup, then push out. This has to be 9 joints, whole body, upper and lower coordinated. It has to start moving at the same time and end at the same time. Same thing for the pull. 9 joints moving and end at the same time. Once he explained that, I started looking at places in various movements which were transitionary or set up or getting ready for, and then it made it really clear. Okay, I have to you know, start and act everything at the same time when it's the main part of the application. So if this helps you, I'm happy to do this. I get a lot of questions about the classics, and I was fortunate that I was able to learn classics from Master Liang, Master Choi, and a few other teachers. If you have any classics that you'd like me to go over, or you have any comments or questions about this one or some of the previous ones, feel free to message and get in contact with me. You know, the classics are a really good source of information, a really good way to check yourself out, to make sure you can progress. The thing is the classics aren't going to show you a lot of times how to do a specific movement. Like, you won't find anything in the Taiji Classics that'll tell you how to do single whip, but it'll tell you how to move. It'll tell you a lot of things, and I find the classics are really worth their time to study. If you have a time you can't move around, you're stuck on a plane, you can't do the Taiji form, read the Taiji Classics. You can get so much, it'll inform your practice. Until next time, remember to start together, stop together on the power stroke.